Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze. Breezeway Productions The Breeze. We're bringing the latest in independent films and film festival news, and we continue our coverage of this year's Oxford Film Festival with filmmaker Travis Mills, which had his film Heart of the Gun that screened at Oxford, and he is the director and writer of the project. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Right on. Thanks for coming on the show, and tell us a little bit about Heart of the Gun.
So Heart of the Gun is the last of the 12 Westerns that we made during 2020. We made 12 feature-length films in 1 year. Of course, one of the craziest years in the last 100 years, right? We picked a good year for it. And this is a film that was very personal to me. It was a script that I wrote based on some of my own experiences, obviously transferred into a Western setting and highly fictionalized. But it tells the story of Jack Travers, a doctor who was serving with the U.S. cavalry, who deserts. We don't know why. And he's been looking for his long lost wife for years. And he comes upon this woman, Sarah, who resembles his wife. And she's been assaulted. Together, they sort of go along this wild and violent journey and kind of come to they kind of are seeking redemption and healing during the process. So it's a psychological Western. It's a romantic Western, but in a dark way. It's not your typical shoot 'em up.
Sure. So the first thing that I guess I'll address out of that was 12 feature films. It's a lot of movie making and it taking a lot of time. Can you elaborate a little bit more about how you ended up doing that? That's a lot of work that requires a lot of time, effort, and finances and everything else. That's a lot.
Yeah, the quick version is that in 2014, I came up with this idea, this dream to make 12 feature films in 12 months. And I thought that, that wasn't crazy enough, that it had to sound crazier than that, because you could make 12 feature films in a hotel room, right? So to do Westerns would be much more of an ambitious undertaking. And the idea of exploring the Western genre, which sometimes doesn't get its fair due or whatever, because it's very diverse genre. You can make 12 completely different Westerns, and that's what we did. So it took years for me to really put this together, but I finally decided in 2019, 2018 that I was going to do it in 2020 no matter what happens. And obviously we ran into a lot of obstacles with the pandemic, but we were able to continue safely and complete production on all 12 of these films, and 11 of them are actually out for the public to see on Amazon, on Tubi. You just have to search my name, Travis Mills, to find them. And this one, the last one, is still doing the festival circuit right now.
Wow, that is epic. Did you tell me about your producers that you worked with to make all of this? Because that seems like a full lifetime of work to really dive into it. Like, who were your right hands while you were doing this?
So I was the main producer for most of them, but I definitely had a lot of help. Sorry, that's my dog moving around.
It's all good.
So I was the main producer on a lot of this, but I definitely had some help. One of them is actually someone who's deeply involved in the Oxford Film Festival. His name is Damon Burks. He helped on a lot of the Mississippi Southeastern films, because we shot 4 of these in the Southeast and another 8 of them in Arizona. And then John Mars was someone, he's an actor, an armorer. He knows a lot about history. We didn't know going in, we had never met before the 12 Westerns, but he offered his services to be involved. And he ended up being one of my main collaborators with it, working on, I think, 9 of the 12, helping me behind the scenes, helping me in front of the camera. He was a co-producer on a few of the films and a co-writer on some of them. But it was, a revolving door of collaborators, but I was the main person pushing this, doing pre-production, production, and then post-production, just pushing it through in terms of being a producer for the entire process. And it was a wild journey, a very difficult one. And if people are more curious about it, they can read my book about it, which is available on Amazon, The Making of 12 Westerns. It's based on my journal that I kept during the time. So some people have said that it's a great document for independent filmmakers getting involved to kind of see the ins and outs, the dirty details of what it takes to make low budget movies.
Yeah, that is an endeavor. Do you have any free time, or is it always on a set? You on a set right now? You making something else?
I did not have any free time for 3 years, pretty much. And thankfully, this year I'm trying to live a little bit more of a balanced life, But movie making is definitely my passion, and it's something that I live for. So that's what it takes.
Sure. No, I get it. I dig it. I think that you really have a lot of great films on your hand, so that people are able to check it out on all of those streaming services. But for this one being the last of the 12, Heart of the Gun, that you directed and wrote, do you have a great cast that's lined up? Peter Shirako, John Shield, Kat Roberts, Jay Pickett, Ellie Ringo, Angel Cassidy. Did you have a great casting director associated with the film that did all of these 12 films, or did you have individual ones for each film? How did that play out?
I love that you're reading off of clearly the star meter on IMDb.
I'm looking right. It's right up here. It's right in front of me.
Star is funny because it's not always, it can be like I'm at the top of some movies, but I was just an extra in them. So in terms of casting on the 12 Westerns, again, I did 90% of it. I don't work with a casting director. I do it myself. I make the decisions myself. Sometimes there might be a collaborator like John Mars or someone else who's helping me with auditions, or at least giving their input on it. But in terms of 99% of the decisions are made by me, and I was able to work with some great people on this. John acted in a lot of the films. It was the culmination of a bunch of work he did that year, getting better and better as an actor. This was his most challenging role, the lead role of Travers. We cast this actress, Amber, out of Montana. She was pretty great. Jay Pickett, who sadly passed away last year, famous actor from soap operas, and he started doing Westerns again. He had a rodeo history. This was our first time working together. He found out about the 12. He contacted me. He was fantastic to work with. I wish that we had been able to collaborate more. And then you had a bunch of, like you said, supporting characters. Peter Shirako, who's known from Tombstone, is quite a character and was fun to work with for a couple of days. And I'm kind of like John Ford in the sense that I have a little bit of a stock company, and I have some people kind of keep coming back. And so nice. John Ringo, some of those people, if you watch the 12, you'd be like, oh, that person was in this and that person was in that. And that's kind of how I tend to cast is, I like to work with people that I've worked with before and enjoyed spending time with.
Yeah, you have quite a colorful cast of people, many different faces that are familiar, can be seen in them. So it is quite a quest to go through all of these films to check it out, but we'll focus on this one, which just premiered at the Oxford Film Festival, Heart of the Gun. We have director and writer Travis Mills here with us today. I want to thank you for your time. And in closing, is there anything you'd like to say to the Oxford Film Festival for the official selection this year?
Yeah, it's always good to be part of Oxford. We've been a part of the festival twice before, and nice. It's a well-run endeavor. And I hope that they continue to make good decisions about the events, and perhaps we'll be involved in the future. We'll see what happens.
Right on. That's good words of praise for Oxford, and we're happy to continue showcasing the films that were screened there this year. So again, Travis Mills, I appreciate you for coming on to talk about Heart of the Gun on the Breeze.
Thank you.